Hey guys, this is Sports Card Man. I'm going to be doing video number 2 on my Bowman Chrome auto research. Just pointing out some good guys to buy for the off season and doing some projections on current values and where I think they will wind up. So if you watch the Yankees video, I won't have to get into detail as for what we're doing here, but basically, here's the key. It shows, which tier they're in, who's undervalued, who's overvalued, who's trending up, color confidence, and then I did, PSA 9, BGS 9 value, ungraded value, 9.5 value, PSA 10 value, and then these are my future projections over here. So let's kind of get right into it real quick. I'm going to try to go a little faster in this video compared to the Yankees one. The Bowman Chrome Mookie Betts from 2014, he's in tier 3 right now. I think Betts is very undervalued. I actually saw a PSA 10 sell for 450, and a BGS 9 is around 400, 370, maybe 400 if you have to pay the tax. If you don't have to pay the tax, it would be a little lower. Just depends on what state you're in. Ungraded, they're around 302. I think Betts is going to have a big year this year. There's rumors he might get traded because the Red Sox are having payroll issues. And I think, ultimately, either way, it's still going to be a good buy because he's going to go to a contender if he does get traded. If he doesn't get traded, he's going to still have like a monster year because he's going to be a free agent. So that PSA 10 was a very good buy for 450. So whoever bought that, I think, is going to do really well. I think that is one of the better buys I've seen this off season. So I think that'll be a $700 card, along with the 9.5s. I have them at like 550. The Betts is last year. The PSA 10s were over 1,000, and the BGS 9.5s were around, around 750, like maybe even 800 during the off season, or shortly before the season began. So definitely try to get him. Here it is, some comps right here. You have the 450 one and the 400 one there for the 10 and the 9.5. So definitely try to find someone that is willing to sell a PSA 10 for 450. Going on to the next guy would be Andrew Benintendi. I don't really love Benintendi. I think, in my opinion, he's a little overrated. He doesn't really put up the big numbers. He struggles to hit about 20 homers. So, he could have a better year this year. But, like, for right now, for what you have to pay for him, he's around 65. Ungraded and like a 9 or a BGS 9, I just don't love that buy right now. If I was going to buy one, it would maybe be the 10 at 150. There's a little upside there. It might hit like 200. I have them kind of standing pat for now, so I could be wrong on him. And one thing I should say about Betts that I forgot to mention is the color confidence. I would say yes on him too. But going back to Benintendi, I don't know. I don't think he's like worth it right now. I want to kind of get them for lower if I'm to be comfortable, where I think I'll have some room. But so you can kind of see the numbers there on him. But yeah, if you're gonna buy him, definitely be careful. This was an interesting one. Bogarts from 2012. I haven't really seen many people be selling him since, going back to like almost like September. I haven't really seen any like recent October, like late October or even November comps on him. So what that tells me is he's actually trending up in value. I kind of would pay around 60 to 80 of where I would be comfortable for like a regular ungraded one or like a 9, preferably like no higher than like 70. 80 is a little strong, but I do think they will hit 125 at one point like sooner or later at the beginning of the season, because Bogarts had a really good year last year. He's probably one of the better shortstops still in baseball, and he's really young. So definitely try to look for him. So when people aren't selling him, that just tells me, that people are thinking he's going to have a big year this year because, he's not a guy that's really obtainable right now. And I would buy his colors as well. And I'm projecting his 10 to be around like 350, which could even be a low projection. That could even increase to like maybe 4. So I do think, you do want to try to look for him, like to target him if you can. Maybe someone will sell him off eBay too. So, and, a lot of people might not really think that he's going to go way up in value, but I think he easily has the potential to. Going on to JD Martinez, I do still think he has some upside, but the one card I would want of him would be the 10, just because, there's not many of them I saw on the population report when I was doing the research of this, and you can get them for around 115 right now of what the last one sold for. So, if someone's willing to sell one at that, or if you can find another one for that, I think, you have room for that to go up in value. He's still, going to put up numbers next year. He's not that old. He's like in his mid 30s, so he does still have some upside. Or even like 34, I think he is. So I still think like, or he might even be 33. But definitely, try to get him in a PSA 10, just because I think those will be hitting 150. I don't like him enough to buy his colors, just for because he is getting a little older, so you don't know. And I guess I would be most comfortable with just the 10, like I said, because the ungraded is around 55 still, so that's going to go up a little bit, but not much. The next guy, Devers, that was a guy you had to buy last year. There's not going to be, much money for him to be made this year just because, the prices of him is so high. I've seen them already trending up to like 180. I've seen them go like 160. So it's like there's a little room. I have them going at like as far as 225 once the season starts. For ungraded, I have a 9.5 at 275, and I have his 10 at 450. So just because like he's trending up right now, it doesn't mean that it's not too late to buy him. And because you don't want to like shy away from like buying someone that is high already in the off season, because he easily can go up like once the season starts, once he gets like red hot, or like especially during the season. But Devers wouldn't be a guy that I would want to sell right away, like early in the season, just because I think he's gonna have a good year like all year, and he could continually go up. So there's certain people that you want to know who to decide on who to sell early in the season versus the middle of the season versus the end of the season. That's how you have to kind of look at it, because guys continually go up. Some guys drop, and then some guys hold their value all year. I think Devers is going to be one of those guys that holds his value all year. Going on, the next guy is Michael Chavez, 2014 Bowman Chrome model. The best bang for your buck on him is you can get his ungraded auto for around $25. I think they're going to hit around 40-ish. That's kind of like where they were last year. Although last year he was a rookie, so a lot more people might have been excited about him because he was kind of like a newer rookie. But I do like his power enough where I'm comfortable enough at 25. And I have heard that Pedroia is going to be back this year, but who knows if he's going to be able to stay healthy. But I still think they're going to find enough at-bats for Chavez to play on a regular basis with the Red Sox. So I do think those would be at 40, like I said, and that would be the one I would be the most confident in. Maybe his PSA 10 or 9.5 might increase as well, as I have here on the projections of them. One other guy that I'm kind of thinking is overvalued on the Red Sox is Jackie Bradley from 2012. I think they're around like 20. I think there's not anything to really be made on him at paying that price, just because you kind of seen like what he is. I mean, he had that big ALCS in 2018, and that was kind of when he was probably at his highest value. So. And since then, he hasn't really done much. He's kind of like a streaky hitter. So I just don't think there's much upside with him right now. That's why I'm not going to spend too much time on them or on him. I should say I wouldn't buy the Chavez colors just for the same thing, because he might be a role player to start the year. so you don't want to like go too heavily on like all in on him or anything like that. So just be careful with him. Going on to some of the Red Sox pitchers now, Chris Sale, I like them at $45 a piece. He's already building a Hall of Fame career. He's got a ton of strikeouts. His career ERA is still really low, and he's kind of like a guy that people are forgetting about right now because he got hurt last year, and sometimes you have to buy people while they're hurt, just because, especially on a guy like Sale, because it's already a guy that's on a Hall of Fame path. He's still I think he's still like just right around 29 or 30. So there's still a lot of upside and a lot of good years left. And people are saying he's going to be ready for spring training. So, and like I said, I've pointed this out in my previous videos. Look at the comparison on the 10 and the BGS 9. So what that tells you is this 10 is a really good buy right now because it's only a $7 difference on what a 9.5 sold for. So whoever bought that PSA 10 for 137 is going to do really well with that. That's probably going to be over close to a $200 card once Sale, starts pitching well again next year and things like that. So if you can get that for 137, I would definitely buy that for 137 just because that's an easy profit and that's a really safe investment. And I do like the ungraded one for the safest bet just because, you're not investing a lot of money and that card easily can go up to like $65, $70, but be careful with the 2010 stuff. As I pointed out previously, look for centering, look for surface stuff, and look for a clean autograph if you are going to buy that ungraded. And I would buy his colors too, just because, like I said, a lot of people are not going to be, thinking to buy Sale because they're all going to be thinking like, oh, like he was hurt last year, and that's okay. Like let other people think that, just because other people are thinking that doesn't mean that you aren't making a good purchase because, like I said, check out his numbers and then, you'll see like how good of a career he's had so far. The next guy I do like a lot is Eduardo Rodriguez. I think he is going to be one of those pitchers that takes the next step. And, he actually put up a really good year last year, and I think he'll get even better next year. And same thing, his PSA 10 is selling for the same value of his 9.5, and I much rather prefer the PSA 10 versus the 9.5 just because on all Bowman Chrome Auto stuff, all the PSA 10s are selling higher than the 9.5s. So I want to buy them for 30. That's like my best bang for my buck on him. And I think that'll probably easily be a $65 card. And I would get his colors on him as well. You can get his ungraded stuff cheap. They're around $8. And I think those will easily double in value too. They might even hit like 20 or maybe even 25. I have them at a safe bet at 15 all day, but they could be even higher than that. And if you want to get a 9.5 for 30, you can. But like I said, I would prefer the PSA 10 at 30 because that's what the value is for him. And I think I did mention this. I would get his colors too, just because of his upside and having a breakout year. That people are always trying to find pitchers that are going to have a breakout year, and he's one of the guys that I think is going to have a breakout year next year. Evaldi, he doesn't have much upside. They kind of used him in the bullpen last year in the rotation, so he was injured. I'm going to pass on him. I don't see them really going up in value. I try to do some projections on what his 9.5 or 10 might hit, but they're going to be hard to find. And unless you can get them cheap, I wouldn't buy him just because like I said, there's not much upside on them. The David Price, he's had a good career. So I mean, but I don't see him as like no Hall of Famer or anything. But he's not like that old. I think he's around like 33-ish or something like that. So I mean, you could make a little something on him, but like I said, not much upside there either. You might be able to get like a graded version of him cheap, and that would maybe be the one I would buy. Like if you can get like a PSA 10 for like $20 or something like that, and a Bowman Chrome of him from 2008, then maybe I would get him, or something like a color that someone sells cheap, like a blue or like even like a refractor or something like that. And if you get it for real cheap, then I would buy it. But I'm saying like other than that, I wouldn't go like out of my way to buy him. And then I didn't spend much time on Brian Johnson. I don't even know if he's going to be in the rotation. And then one other prospect I should say that is definitely going to be on their team is Bobby Dahlback from 2016 Bowman Chrome Auto. A lot of power. People are saying, and he's going to probably get called up like maybe midway point of the season. So if I was going to take a shot with him, it would be the ungraded version of him. And I think, possibly colors of him could be a good purchase too, if you can get him cheap enough. And I think all of his 9.5s, PSA 10s will go up just because, he is a Red Sox, and prospects on like the Red Sox usually trend up in value. Just look at like Chavez last year. Like he was a guy that, he started out really low around this time last year, and he continually like went up in value as it got closer to spring training. And then once he got called up, his stuff went high. So I think you could see a similar trend with that with Dahlback as well. But yeah, that's it for Red Sox for their research. If you guys have any questions on or comments about this video on the Red Sox, just point them out to me, and I can answer them and let you know who I think is a good buy, and let you know my opinion. But yeah, stay tuned for my other Bowman Chrome auto research videos. Thanks, guys. Bye.